guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel Archituber. I'm architect Vaibhavi and I make content related to architecture and interiors, and if you are interested, so please stay tuned. In today's video, we will be discussing about ancient Near East. This period was just after the prehistoric time, okay? If you haven't already watched the part 1, please do give it a watch. In the last video, we discussed about prehistoric times and the settlements of the prehistoric people. So how has development and settlements have changed and people have migrated? Let's give it a watch and let's learn in brief. So without further ado, let's get into the video.
Now talking about the background, Mesopotamia located in and around the valley of Tigris and Euphrates River in modern Iraq. It is also known as Mesopotamia. The land had poorly defined edges. The land stretches from Mediterranean to Persian Gulf. To the southwest, it fades into the Arabian deserts, and northwest, it has plains of Syria. The Tigris and Euphrates rivers sit in the land of dominant physical feature. Now we have discussed about the prehistoric settlements and developments. So we know the transformation from prehistoric villages now to nearest cities occurred. Okay, civilization there lasted for like 5,000 years. This era witnessed the earliest rise of human civilization around 4500 BC. Different cultures established city-states and empires at different periods. There are 5 different cultures that includes Sumerian, Akkadian, Assyrian, Babylonian and Persian. Now what do you mean by civilization? Okay, civilization is associated with cultural practices of cities, urban living and the presence of writing and written law for that particular city. The earliest city established an urban culture took hold. In 4000 to 3000 BC, large number of people began living in a small area, creating 4 cities. Cities grew, increased power and importance. Rivalries developed. The ancient Near East was the land without natural defenses. Warfare was common throughout. As some cities began to grow and became more powerful, they defeated weaker ones and created their empire and kingdom there as well. So this led to collective rule of the city-states by a king. With kingship, monumental places happened like residences for that particular king, or the administration or the residence for that king happened. Almost all cultures of Near East worship many gods and goddesses. Near East people did not believe in immortality and eternal life. They believed only gods were immortal, okay? Houses were only one story or ground floor and mostly constructed with mud bricks. Rooms were arranged around courtyards. The cities were a blend of residential, commercial and industrial. Coming to the civilization and timeline, so there are different civilizations and culture happened in Near East. So talking about the first one, Sumerian culture, that we will be discussing in this video. Sumerian culture started from 4000 to 2000 BC. Then Akkadian culture happened in 2350 to 2200 BC. Babylon culture 2000 to 1600 BC. Kassites culture 1600 to 1717 BC. Assyrian culture 1350 to 612 BC. Neo-Babylonian 612 to 539 BC. Persian culture 539 to 350 BC. Now talking about the Sumerian culture, as you can see on the left hand side, there is a map of Sumerian. Okay, you can see there are 4 major cities: Ish, Uruk, Ur and Lagash. Okay, this transition from prehistoric was made around 4500 BC with the rise of Sumerian civilizations. Sumerian established an irrigation system that made them capable of food production to support urban living. They were also skilled in metal craft. Sumerians invented the cuneiform system of writing. Sumerians attempted to design public buildings. Mud was their building material throughout. Okay, they used mud for their temples, their houses and public buildings also. Mud was formed into a brick and sun-dried and built into a massive walls. Walls were thick to compensate the weakness of the mud. They were reinforced with buttresses. Spaces were narrow because of the walling material, which was very thick, and the facades of the building were whitewashed. Buttresses and recesses also relieved the monotony of the plaster walls and surfaces. Sumerian culture, temples was the major building type. So now, as we all know, temples were the major architectural monument in Sumerian culture. So these are the two very important buildings in Sumerian: White Temple and the Great Ziggurats at Ur. Okay, so temple as a principal architectural monument, and temple consists of chief and city temples. Okay, now coming on to the White Temple of Ur. As we all know, temples played most important role in Sumerian architecture. So it is built on a very high earth mound, also known as ziggurat. Okay, it was major city back then in Sumerian architecture. Uruk was major Sumerian city by 3300 BC, and this White Temple was built around 3000 BC. Okay, the name Iraq is derived from Uruk. Okay, the city covered an area of 2 square kilometer and had 40,000 people population. The White Temple was located in Uruk. Now coming on to the planning, as we can see on the right hand side, there are stairs, ramp, an altar and entrance to the White Temple. Okay, and others are terrace and the platform. The temple is placed on a great mound of earth called ziggurat, rising more than 12 meters above the ground. The ziggurat and temple are built with mud bricks only. The temple is rectangular in shape. The temple walls were thick and supported by buttresses. In the inner part of the temple was a long sanctuary that contains an altar and offering table for a god and to worship God. Rooms oblong and in shape and vaulted surrounded the long side of the sanctuary. The temple had imposing doorways located at either end. The worships to the temple, however, enter through a side room. Okay, series of staircases and step levels lead to worships to enter the entrance of the temple. The temple was plastered white externally, making it visible for miles in the land. Now talking about the Great Ziggurats at Ur. Ur was a Sumerian city located near the mouth of Euphrates River. The city was a thriving place by 2600 BC. It was considered the sacred to the moon god. The White Temple was built around 2113 to 2048 BC by ruler Ur-Nammu. It was built on the ruins of previous temples and incorporated their remains. Okay, it was constructed of mud bricks reinforced with thin layers of matting and cables of twisted reeds. The Ziggurats was located as a part of temple complex. The complex comprised of ziggurats and its court and a secondary court attached to it called the court of Nanar, the god, the moon god. Okay, so you can see in the plan there is a ziggurat, then there is a platform, there is a court. Okay, the king was the chief priest of the temple and lived close to it. The temple sits on the three multi-tiered ziggurat mountain. You can see there are 3 levels, and access to the temple is through triple staircase that coverage at the summit of the first platform. From the first stage, one passed through a portal of the dome roof, the fourth staircase. The fourth staircase gave access to the second and third stages of ziggurats and to the temple. The temple is usually accessed only by the priests, where gods are believed to come down and give instructions. The ziggurats is believed by the Sumerians to unite the heavens and the earth. The people believed that climbing the stairs of ziggurats gives a holy experience. The chief temple was also used as a last line to defense during times of war. Most of what is known about the what exists on top of the ziggurat is a projection till now. Now, the second type of the temple of Sumerian architecture is Oval Temple of Kapaj. Oval Temple is an example of second type of Sumerian temples. It was constructed around 2600 BC. The temple is named oval because of its massive oval walls surrounding the temple. Located in the city, emphasis in its organization is on enclosing space within courtyards. Spaces is enclosed to create island of peace from a busy city. The temple is raised on a simple platform enclosed within the oval walls. It has the subsidiary chambers at the ground level. The outer walls was extended to protect the priestly residence with its own chapel. You can see on the ground floor plan. Then the inner court had an offering table and showed evidence of animal sacrifices. The inner court also had basins for ablution as well as workshops and storage rooms.
So this sums up the part 2 wherein we talked about the Sumerians, and now we will be discussing about the Assyrians. So please do not forget to watch the part 3. It will be up on my channel very soon. So please stay tuned for that. And if you like this video, please do not forget to like, comment, share and subscribe to my YouTube channel below. Thank you for watching. Bye.